Hey y'all, what's happening? Let's get it crackin' on Sideway Media. Hey y'all, what's happening? Let's get it crackin'. Sideway Media. Sideway Media. Sideway Media.
Yo, it's Dana Dane, y'all, coming at the Sackway Media studio. I got my boy Q in here today, and we're going to go over a few topics. We're going to talk a little bit about the government with the nurses and the doctors. We also going to talk a little bit about the women's basketball team out of Louisiana, Angelique Reese. So I'm going to bring it over. Welcome to the studio, Q.
Appreciate you having me, Dan. I'm really glad to be at the Sackway. I really am.
All right, tell us a little bit about the nurses and the doctors. I hear you got a little topic yours.
I just want to say something about this situation. It's amazing. 3 years ago, how the doctors, I'm just going to say everyone in the medical field was getting praised for doing their best and working hard and understanding that they need to stay there around sick people and then go home and be around their own family, endangering their own family, and how the government and the state of California was all behind the nurses and the doctors and everyone in the medical field. But now, since the so-called pandemic is over with, you don't hear anything about the nurses, the doctors. You don't hear nothing about no one saying we're going to help the nurses, the doctors, the medical team. We don't hear anything about that anymore. They're in a higher tax bracket right now.
Right.
And the federal government and the IRS is coming at them like they didn't do anything to help their family member or their friend during this epidemic.
So you basically saying the government just used them to work all those hours. They put their life on the line. They did all the hard work, but now they in a higher tax bracket, and they didn't really give them no help. So they did all that work, and now they're paying for it.
They paying it back in a way that they shouldn't be paying it back. Instead of the government looking around and saying, wait, we can go out and buy 20 million bombs and 20 million airplanes or 20 million ships, while we can't make a tax bracket to get these medical people down on a lower tax bracket for doing all they could in this pandemic situation. Why the state of California, that has their own government system, hasn't done anything.
So that's cold, man. They didn't even reward them, didn't help them. They slaved and put their hard work on the line, and now you taking it back in a tax situation. That's cold.
It's called double dipping.
Right.
You got all that work out of them, but now you're going to get it back in another return. You're going to charge them from them bogus stimulus checks you sent out to everybody, so you're going to get it back for the people that had to work 16, 24 hours. I don't think that's right. And we don't hear anything about it from these politicians, the ones running from these councilmen that you don't see until it's election time, but you don't see them anymore in your neighborhood at all. They pimp you. That's actually what it's called, is pimping. Right. They pimping you, but they come in your neighborhood, they selling you a dream, and you go out there and you do all of the hard work, and as soon as that dream so-called don't come true, what they do? They run. And that's exactly what the state of California has done right now, and the United States government have done right now. And they sick the IRS on you so fast, and they blame it on the IRS. But from my understanding, the IRS worked for the government.
Right. That's right.
And our president, they keep saying the president. What president? The president don't make no laws. Congress make the laws.
Right.
The senators make the laws. He can't do anything without them. Yeah, he can veto something. So what, they don't do nothing but put it right back on the agenda the next week. And right now what they're doing, fighting among themselves. Countries looking at the United States right now, telling me they don't get along in their own country. How can they go protect another country? And they're not even protecting the people in their country, like the medical people in their country that did all this hard work during this pandemic, that died. Some of them died, lost their life. Their family members lost their life in this pandemic. And yet the United States government and the state of California had literally turned their back on them.
Okay, you hear that, state of California? You need to step up. You need to help out. Let's talk a little bit about the basketball.
That's a topic I definitely want to talk about.
The state of Louisiana. Because hold on one second. I think you from the Point to the Dale. I heard something about, tell us a little bit about the Point to the Dale.
Well, that's my name. My name is from the Point to the Dale. I was raised in San Francisco, California, in Hunters Point.
Okay.
And I left Hunters Point, and I end up in Louisiana, in Allendale, Louisiana. We're going to give it its own name. It's really Shreveport, Louisiana, but I'm going to call it Allendale, Louisiana. So when I say from the Point to the Dale,
Right.
I represent 24/7.
Okay, the Point to the Dale. So, how long before you left Hunters Point and went to the Dale? I mean, how long did you spend down in San Francisco?
I was in San Francisco 10 years. I was born there. I was there 10 years. I moved from Hunters Point to Fillmore area. Then when we left in Fillmore area, we went back to Louisiana. And I'm not looking back. I'm glad we did. We had a great time in California, and I love Cali. Cali is my home. That's where I was born. I don't care if no one say. But I'm not taking nothing away from the Dale. The Dale turned me into the man that I am today.
All right. So what's your favorite part of Shreveport or the Dale? What's your biggest memory or your?
My favorite part of the Dale, my biggest memory, is when my little brother opened up this club, and it was a club where you could go and enjoy yourself as grown people without any mischief or anything else. I'm not going to even say the name of the club right now, but I'm just going to say that's my favorite point. I like to get home. When I get to the house, I'm well known there, so I get home, I relax. Right. I like to kick it with everyone, and I like to relax.
Okay. So now let's jump on into that Angelique Reese, because she's from Louisiana, right?
Well, she played ball in Louisiana. She played at Louisiana State University. May I say, the national champions, Louisiana State University. Okay. So I just don't understand, and I have to get this off my chest. This young lady went out there and accomplished something with the rest of her teammates that no one else could at Louisiana State University. And yet, the only thing we hear is about the situation with the no hand in the face, or I have a ring on my finger. Well, the young lady before that she was doing it to, she did that same thing 48 hours before.
Oh, Caitlin.
Miss Caitlin. That's what I'm going to call her, Miss Caitlin. But she was praised as a outstanding hero, an outstanding human being, right, and everything.
Passionate about ball.
Oh, she's so passionate about basketball. You got to understand, that's why she did that. But when this young, beautiful, may I say, black queen, I'm going to say Bayou, let's get it right, Bayou Barbie. Let's get it right. Made me stutter because I like to look at her when she's playing ball because she's so gorgeous and elegant on that floor. And the rest of her teammates are just the same.
She did her thing, and I understand what you're saying about how the media is portraying her out to be a thug, or she was really disrespectful. But I think she was competing and got caught up in emotions because guess what? The other girl did it a few weeks earlier against, I believe it was Louisville. She did it, put her hand up on her face, and now when it gets done back to her, the media jumped all over her. I think it was a shame.
I think it was a absolute shame. And don't forget what she did to South Carolina when she waved at the young lady like, you self-check. You can't shoot. I'm not going to even hold you. That's what we do out in the streets. We do that in the streets. So she done took this pure lily white attitude and put her ghetto style in it, but no one said anything about that part. But when the Bayou Barbie said somebody did something, oh, it's a travesty. And what I'm very upset with is these commentators, these sport commentators. And I'm going to say some names, too. I'm not going to call them out. I'm just going to say their show. The ones that speak on Speak. I love me some Joy. Joy just don't have anything but you, Joy Taylor. But those weak men you got beside you that coming at you like they're really talking about sports and they using their opinion and they downplaying the situation about this young lady and disrespecting her. And I just don't like that. Jason Whitlock, straight up, I'm not going to say the word with him. He's so doggone, he fake. He's so fake until it's absolutely unreal. That has got to be one of the fakest human beings because he's not a man at all. And like they always say, Stephen A. You're going to look in the camera talking about, put the camera in my face. Well, you put the camera in my face. I think what y'all doing to this young lady is an absolute shame. You should have dropped it a long time ago. And when I'm not going to call her the first lady, and I don't care if you say it's disrespectful. That's the two young wannabe gentlemen on the Speak talking about she was disrespectful. No, she wasn't. She just said a joke. That's all she said. Now, I'm going to say what she should have said. Jill Biden should have stayed out of that situation. And when she said, I'm going to tell the president to bring Iowa down to, you're going to tell the president, who running the presidency? You or Joe Biden? That's all I need to know right now. That's what we should be talking about. But we're not talking about that. Or we should be talking about, I'm going to go back to the other stuff, why we are not giving these medical people another tax bracket to lower these taxes on them. Talk about that. I don't want to talk about Ukraine. I don't want to talk about none of that mess no more. Let's talk about what's going on in the USA. We already separated. We already divided. And is that our fault? No, it isn't. It's the fault of the government. Because when we see you guys acting a fool with each other, clowning each other, talking about each other, what you expect a citizen of the United States to do? Because we ain't following no role models because none of you guys are role models at all. You care about one thing, that dollar. And we out here trying to care for people. And y'all done just swept up under the table. I really am upset right now with the government of California and the United States government because your guys stopped caring. And again, Jill Biden, you was absolutely wrong. I think what you said was garbage. And you could take that to the bank. And I hope LSU do not go to the White House. I pray to God they do not go to the White House because it was disrespectful for what they did. For those two gentlemen on the Speak that opened their mouth, y'all need to take a chill pill, especially you, Shady McCoy. I'm going to say your name because you damn sure shady. What you said about Kaepernick, talking about if he had the talent, he would still be playing in the NFL. You had talent, I see you out there in the NFL. So we'll leave that alone, Shady McCray.
Wow. Hey, that was a whole lot. I hope y'all caught it all. To the young lady in her national championship team, Angelique Reese and the LSU Tigers, the champions, y'all did y'all thing. Don't quit saying, speaking out, doing what you're doing. Keep doing it.
And as we say in Louisiana, I'm telling you this, do not crawfish. And the ones in Louisiana know exactly what I'm talking about. You said what you said, don't crawfish on it now. Don't move backwards on it. You go straight ahead. Remember, what's his name? Byron Allen, he has television shows too that we can get on. Hopefully he'll put us on his television shows if the other media or the other circuits won't put us on theirs. Stop trying to kowtow to these people because they putting you on TV and putting you on some of these ESPNs, Fox, and the rest of the Bally's, whatever you want to call some of these programs. Stop trying to cow down to them and just relax. We're going to get the time where we could just go to someone and say, look, can we get on your show and say what we need to say as a people and stop sugarcoating things? But no, we can't do that. Not the media we know, because some of the media we know is the same color as are we. And then guess what they do? They look at us and they treat us just like shit. And I said it. Act like they have never been where we are right today. Remember, it's a long ways from the top to the bottom than it is from the bottom to the bottom. That's what you better understand.
All right. Hey, tell me a little bit about your favorite team.
Well,
I see you rocking it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I bleed red and gold. I'm trying to tell you. I'm 49 of red and gold. I'm letting you know. I don't sugarcoat it at all. And I'm going to tell you right now, I do not wear not one player's name on my back. Not one player. I'm a team fan. I love the 49ers. So I'm representing the 49ers. The players come and go, but that logo don't go anywhere. I represent.
And do you just wear your 49er gear just for the football season, or are you year-round?
I'm year-round. When you see me, go to Louisiana. Ask them when I walk through the door. There they go. They go cute. Because guess what? He got the hat, he might got the shoes, and got the shirt on. And don't let me get real comfortable. I'm going to put the trousers on, too. How about that? Because I rock them. From doomsday to the day, I'm going to rock them. I'm trying to tell you right now. 49 of red and gold. And don't worry about it. We have a little slip-up, but this year, Super Bowl bound. I say it every year, but we almost there.
Now, you know I got to ask this one. In Shreveport, what is the two teams that are most in Shreveport, and then you come in with the 49ers?
The two teams that rock in the Shreveport, Louisiana area is amazing. Is the New Orleans Saints and the raggedy blue and that nasty blue and silver Cowboys. And they love them down there. But they understand me. I'm the biggest Cowboy hater in the world. And I'll say it. Yeah, I hate them. Dislike. It ain't just the fans. I can't stand the team at all. So you can get mad. It's just football. But don't get ignorant about it. It's not a fighting situation. Because I don't like them, they really sorry. Sorry, but guess what? They do have some loyal, sorry fans also. And remember, we all both have 5. But we steady trying to climb the ladder. They know the bottom of the ladder. We know the top. Let's talk about that if you want to.
What you think about this year with our quarterback situation? We have Brock Purdy, Trey Steele, and then they go out and get Sam Darnold. How do you feel about the quarterback situation going in?
Well, me, I'm glad you asked that. Me, myself, I really don't like our quarterback situation. Number one, we didn't have to trade that many draft picks to get Trey Lance. We were sitting pretty. No one else wanted Trey Lance. No one. That's all media talk. That's all draft talk. No one else wanted Trey Lance. We could have stayed right where we was and just got the quarterback we wanted if we wanted Trey Lance. But right now, I was happy with Brock. I'm not saying he should be the starter, though. Right. I'm saying he came in and did his job. His job was to come in there and play football. And my motto is, when one man fall down, it's the next man up. NFL football is a professional football player. Let's keep this real. He's a professional football player. So I don't want to hear, well, he was second string. So what? He makes NFL money. He has got that product on it, a patch saying NFL. It's not saying CFL, USFL, XFL. It says NFL. So if another man go down, you better be ready to come up with no hesitation. Brock did his job. That was his job. Everybody was praising him. No, that was his job.
Well, I gotta say one thing. Old Josh Johnson didn't.
Well, let's talk about that situation too. That's not Johnson's fault. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's Shanahan's fault. We up in the playoff making a run. We down to our third string quarterback. Right. Now listen what I just said. We down to our third string quarterback. Yet you go get somebody that's been on 13 to 14 different teams.
Right.
So if he ain't learned their system, how in the hell he's going to learn our system? Because he played for you. Or we can go back to the Atlanta game, Shanahan, when you had a 28-3 lead. So we know how you coach. We know how you can lose a lead. Like you should have been running the ball against Kansas City, but you trying to get Garoppolo MVP. Or we understand the rules. Don't think we don't. I've been around longer than you. I understand the rules. But to get back to this quarterback situation, I wish we could trade Trey Lance. I really do. We're not going to get anything for him. We lost, 2 firsts, couple of seconds, couple of thirds. Take the loss, run with it. Because right now, that young man needs more in just 2 or 3 years to become a starter. I'm not there. The other players might find him perfectly fine, but that's just my opinion.
Right. Well, there is a rumor that he can be traded, or they looking at it, or they thinking about Kirk Cousins.
That is an absolute joke. But you know what? That's the NFL, though. And that's the NFL owners. If you understand something about these NFL owners, think about this. And I don't care who look at me and say, damn, that was cold. No, it wasn't. The NFL owners are majority white. I take that back. They are white. So why not keep younger white players just as wealthy as they are? Because they can't live forever. So they're going to keep white players just as wealthy as they are. I have seen the Indianapolis Colts give their quarterback old Luck when he just quit, let him keep his $28 million contract. He quit. Instead of them asking for the money back, they let him keep him. They kept the money.
Right.
And that, to me, was absolutely ridiculous. But let a black player say he's quitting. They going after his money, the money they gave him before, right, and his mama and daddy money too. They going after everybody money. Watch what I tell you. That's what that situation. We shouldn't even be talking about Kirk Cousins. He haven't proved. He done been what, 2, 3 different teams. What have he proved? I'm asking.
Not a thing.
But he proved he can make some money. He get big contracts. Big contract. And then you get these so-called players be like, oh, man, it ain't a black and white thing. Please, you better grow up. Oh, yes, it is.
No, I believe it's a black and white thing, and I'll call it just like it is. That's why Lamar ain't got picked up yet. The owners don't want to pay him. The boy is a MVP. He did his thing. He played without a contract 1 year. I don't know what more he improved on his throwing every year. He got better. Nobody want to pay him.
Lamar messed his own contract up. I would have never played last year. They had 3 years to give that man a contract before, and Baltimore, the silly team, you could have paid him 3 years ago and gave him he been making about $40 million for the next 5 years just coming up. But then he been on the contract, so he would have to pay. Play. But the point is, you didn't care about it then. But now, just like they did, I hate to say it, the other little, whatever that quarterback is in Dallas, they waited to pay him and ended up paying more for him than they needed to.
Dak Prescott.
Yes, Dak Prescott. But that's another story. I don't want Kirk Cousins. I do want Lamar. I think we get Lamar at the age of 26 years old, and as young as our team is, we Super Bowl 3 times in a row.
3 times?
3 times in a row.
You think it's a 3-peat?
3-peat.
Okay.
That's a young man. Our wide receivers are young. Our tailbacks are young. Our line is young. We only have that. We got the beast on the left, but he's still holding his own.
So if Lamar come, it'll really be in Shanahan's lap to win it. He can't screw that up.
Well, I'm tired of the excuses, and I'm hating that no one is calling them out. No one is calling them out. No one's calling out Lynch.
Right.
You put Lynn as an offensive coordinator / head coach, but yet only time you seen Lynn was like maybe 3 times on TV. Let him get involved with the team. Shanahan's still your team, But you are really messing up and you screwing up in the playoff. You're doing a hell of a job getting us there, but yet you get big-headed for some reason. Right. I'm just trying to figure that out. It's not about you. That's why I told you earlier, I do not wear no number of a player on my back. I have 49er gear. That's all you're going to see. You're never going to see a number of a player on my back. They come and go. Fans are forever, just like the team.
You said the fans stick and stay. Huh?
the fans ain't going nowhere. I love the 49ers. When I say love, I love the 49ers.
That's right. All right. Man, so Lamar, we didn't cover a few of them here. So one more time, we're going to talk about the nurses and how the state failed them.
And I'm saying that to say this. How is it that these nurses was working 16, 24 hours? Some of them was working, couldn't go to sleep have to go to sleep on a cot to get up and start working again, knowing that they was getting extra hours and overtime hours. Getting extra hours and overtime hours. And then you put them in a higher tax bracket, and then you threaten to lean on them. You threaten this. I mean, just like the U.S. government, the first thing they want to do is they trying to take the nurses and doctors' property, knowing the reason they made that money 3 years ago is because. But I'm going to leave that conversation alone. I'm going to leave that conversation alone. I'm going to leave that conversation alone. I'm going to let someone else feed off this. I want them to piggyback off of it.
All right. And why you think we didn't get no extra money on the taxes or this year or during the pandemic, the extra money on the taxes?
The reason I think we didn't, because the state of California, for one reason, is greedy, real greedy. They have a surplus for the homeless to build homeless shelters all over the state of California. How many have you seen put up? I could take you down some streets now we call Homeless Row. Right now, I take food in cash that I don't have. That the cash part I don't have, but the food I cooks a lot. So when I don't take it to them 2 weeks later. I get up, and if I have something I'm bagging it up. I warm the food up and take it down there. Why is that my job when you have a surplus that you put money in a fund for, but yet you know none of the homeless people are still out on the street in California? Right. But you get these politicians, when they running for something, what the first thing they bring up? The homeless. Oh, they get out there and campaign with them and talk with them and hug them and everything else. But as soon as they get in office, you don't see them no more, and they don't say anything else about them. The homeless population in Sacramento alone is getting horrible. Right. Just look behind the police station.
It's a whole bunch in tents, and they do got a surplus. So I'm wondering, why don't they, or where is that surplus going? Because we didn't get it.
The surplus going right back where they started, back into the politician's pocket. They figuring out a way to put it. I'm going to give you this zoning contract. Okay, I'm going to let you zone over here. You want to know how it works? That's how it works when they're offering zoning contract to a business don't have no business to be in the neighborhood in the first place. But that business then gave them X amount of dollars. That's where the money goes. Think about it. Who fight that hard and spend millions and millions of dollars for a job that pays $50,000, $60,000? Unless you're going to make millions and millions of dollars. Let's be honest about this. We're going to be real. Let's keep it real. Let's do it the SAG way. We're going to keep it real.
Right.
Who would really want a job that pays that kind of money a year and put that kind of money in a campaign? What person you know will put millions of dollars behind a president campaign unless they're going to get that money back? They're not giving that money to them for free. You think them stimulus checks was free? No. That's why that gas price went up to another $2 in a matter of months, a gallon. Quick. They're going to find some way to get that money back, period. Don't act like it's Biden's fault. No, it's all of them fault. Because you got the Republicans and the Democrats up there fighting like animals, talking about each other like animals, disagreeing with each other like animals, but yet that's the person that you put in office. That's who represents you, because you ain't up there representing yourself. That's your representative. That same one disrespecting another colleague. That's the one you want in office. That's the new government right now. And you don't think other countries looking at us right now? We're supposed to be a dominant country. We're supposed to be number one on everything. They're looking at us laughing. We indicted a former president. So what? That ain't nothing but social media, a blast for him. They ain't doing nothing but making his popularity go up more than what it is.
Right.
That's all it is. And you know who started it? The government. I'm not saying it's wrong. Yeah, he's a criminal, but let's get it right. When white people commit crimes, it's called white collar crimes.
It's okay.
That's fine. You're gonna get a slap on the wrist. But let a young person go in the store or a dollar store or a grocery store, someone hungry, and go in there and steal a steak and put it in their pants. Oh, they're gonna charge him with a felony and try to keep him in jail 5 to 10 years. But you can go to a savings and loan and shut it down. Shut the whole savings and loan and run off with all the money. And guess what's gonna happen? Nothing.
So how is it you think they expect us to survive with high gas prices, high taxes, and really not want to offer help?
The way they want us to survive is the way they put it out there in the very beginning. We can give a damn about you. This is our country. We the one in power. You guys don't mean nothing. Nothing. You just a vote. And we're not a vote, because if we was voting like we're supposed to vote, like it should be the majority, then the majority will win. We have these electoral votes where you get so many electoral votes. Come on now. Yeah. It's a joke. This system was put in to make sure white America stay white America. That's all it is. And if these so-called black Americans that got a little money in your pocket, you think we done overcame, you better look in the mirror. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. Look in the mirror. Go down the street without even thinking of nothing. Put on some regular clothes. Get stopped by the police. And guess what you're going to become? You're going to come black all over again, partner.
Get treated real bad.
You're going to get treated real bad. Real bad. And that's when you was asking about the money and will we stay in with getting tax breaks? We don't. The nurses, the doctors, anybody in the medical field right now, they don't get tax breaks. You know what they should have got? Exempt. That's the word. They should have been exempt.
For 1 year or two.
For the 3 years they fought the pandemic, they should have been exempt. And I said that to say this. They risked their life, just like the military went over there, risked their life that they signed up for, just like the police department, they risked their life that they signed up for. This ain't the old days where you was drafted or we make you do something. You sign up for these jobs. But yet, when the fire department went through that situation, they tax exempt, they did everything they could, and they gave them funding and everything else. Police, when they do something wrong, they don't have to worry about it. That's why they do it in office, because they have lawyers to protect them. Right. And who get to pay for it? The taxpayers of that city pays for their crime. When a lot of them get sued and they lose, and who pays for it?
And that's a whole nother topic there, man.
There you go.
Because, those guys, they can do stuff, and we'll start talking about the police Bill of Rights bill, and the union protects them, and they go home with paid leave until the investigation over, and then they get their job back.
How about that?
Woo, that's another whole.
We're gonna discuss that on a later date.
Right.
But right now we keeping it the SAC way. I want to just keep it the SAC way, because the SAC way to me is the great way. That's all I'm saying. This has got to be the most beautiful place in the world. To just let loose and let your emotions go and say what you really want to say and what you really feel. I'm proud of you guys. This SAC way is the media studio way. That's my opinion.
Well, listen, y'all, I want to thank you for tuning in. We got the Sackway Media. I want to thank Q for coming in with his opinion topics, and it was really fitting that we're thanking the nurses, the doctors, anybody that participated in the COVID pandemic that we had that, you know, they should have got a tax break. They should have got help. They shouldn't get punished for doing the work when we were really in some bad times right there. So once again, I want to thank you guys. Sackway Media, Dana Dane, I'm out.
Hey y'all, what's happening? Let's get it cracking on Sackway Media.
How was it?
Hey y'all, what's happening? Let's get it cracking. Sackway Media. Sackway Media.